with this kind of initiatives and the steps that DGS has taken. And now I would like to request Captain Ramji to take over the proceedings from here. Over to you, Captain Ramji, sir.
Yeah, and thank you, DG Shipping, for taking the time to talk to us. As you know, the target audience is cadets and second mate participants who are going to be appearing for second mates. So my request would be that I take a step forward because we have been discussing a lot of things in detail. Just for our own understanding, could you please explain how does DG Shipping go about implementing policies or coming up with policies, orders, surplus, whatever it is, because there seems to be a kind of at least the industry and the students like us or like me like to think that there is a certain kind of arbitrariness or anything of that, which I don't believe that there is, because there is always some system in the thing. So how do you go about it? So could you please explain that in detail so we all understand how a particular policy is made?
So the opening submission I will make is that no system is perfect and there is always room for improvement. The second issue is most of the standards are set in mercantile marine, essentially international. Say, for instance, the competencies and their assessment is predefined in the STCW. The issue of arbitrariness comes in when either there is some apprehension or suspicion of a lumpen element, someone who is not professionally applying himself. And that human ambivalence is what we have to remove by making our processes so robust that it is not subject to bias by any prejudiced corner. Now, the answer or the attempted answer to the question that how do you go about in your policy formulation? The standard approaches, one, there is a global standard. Two, based on the global standard, it is incorporated into the Indian maritime, specifically for assessment of a competency or for maybe a particular thing as a casualty investigation or a safety circular. Whatever step is then taken, which is a novelty or something new in the process, is put through a stakeholders consultation and a feedback mechanism. For instance, institutionally, India is perhaps the only flag which has brought in age norms. So everyone is basically who's a ship owner, not at the cadet sides, is simply saying that how can you specify age norms? If a vessel gets old, we just need to go through a more rigorous inspection regime and the vessel is good to ply. How can you say an old vessel should move out or exit? We will just flag in any other flag of convenience. Now, these are pushes and pulls. What India and Indian maritime and statutory regulation is specifying is newer vessels mean newer technologies. Older vessels, yes, we will allow to a certain limit with inspection regimes to ensure the vessel is efficiently operated. The basic aim and objective is safety, security, and sustainability. Now, this is how policy gets collectively built. For instance, since there are people who are writing the second mate, they should be aware pilot ladders are a major issue, a major concern. There have been two recent incidents where we had casualties on pilot ladder, and these were with experienced mariners. So how does the Maritime Administration engage with that? One is a detailed casualty investigation into the said situation and safety advisories on what are the safety checks when you are accessing or using the pilot ladder. Similarly, for all processes related to propulsion systems, engines, this is how the whole process goes on. Similarly, for examination, assessment, certification, and including maritime training.
Okay, thank you very much. If I understood you very well, then what you are telling us is for the benefit of the cadets. I'm just wrapping up a little bit. It's like a significant percentage of policy making is driven by global standards which are there out there, and we have to kind of implement it. And during the process of implementation, you try to avoid as much as possible the arbitrariness which kind of tends to creep in somewhere along the line. So that is one of the most ways of implementation. Thank you very much. And I will go on to the next question. And this is little more, I think, I'm hoping that you can bring your personal perspective or actually how you appear for exam, etc., since you did your UPSC. One of the things which always kind of confounds a student is the exam stress. And obviously, you have done one of the most competitive exams, that is UPSC. So probably less than 1% are get through somehow. How can they improve the thought process towards it?
So, no less than the Honorable Prime Minister himself has done several interactions with the student and learning community on examination and examination stress. However, since you have allowed me this privilege, I will reduce it to 5 basic principles. The examination essentially is a mechanism to assess whether you are having the right material, and there is a pass and a fail. The Union Public Service Commission is a completely different ballgame, because there the success ratio is something one cannot predict unless you are what is termed as phenomenally bright and extremely fortunate. In my case, I think I am a rather average student, and it is not that I am exceptionally bright. The discipline that comes is the first pillar. Discipline doesn't mean that getting up at night 2 o'clock and studying till the late in the night again and sleeping only for 2 hours. It means one, a good healthy body, which you take out 20, 25, 30 minutes to exercise, maintain yourself in good shape, hydrate yourself well, sleep at least 8 hours. When I start saying sleep at least 8 hours, everybody asks, how is that possible? There is so little time and so much of material to read. Now, so much of material to read or understand is depending on the second part of your discipline. One is a disciplined lifestyle. The two, I mean, obviously you can't prepare for an examination with 5 cans of beer. So that is the discipline part. The second part is attention span. The human mind is designed in a way that you apply yourself at any given subject, it will deviate from the maximum attention span of 10 to 15 minutes unless you have a very, very sharp focus. So, attention span needs to basically be that don't sit down for considerably long hours and keep on learning by rote. Make learning a good, enjoyable experience. How do you do that? This is by repetitive learning. If you read a particular portion, say for instance, which is perhaps I'll speak about the UPSC, a particular portion which is not at all being understood. You read it the first time, you may understand only 5%. Give it a gap, maybe another 10, 15, 20 minutes. Refresh yourself, maybe wash your face, have a small walk, play with the dog, or just do some simple reading, eat an apple, come back, read it again. You realize you're understanding 10 to 15%. Go back to that again. When you have done these 5 repeats, you will understand you're getting 45 to 50% of what you've read. Now comes the applied part where the examination system assesses you in your comprehension. Look at probably previous year's questions, or look at standard questions that are asked. And in today's world, when I was preparing for the UPSC, I'm on the wrong side of 50, so I'm an old man and I shouldn't be advising. But today, technology, there is this relation we all ubiquitously have. It is called as Google Uncle. gives us so many resources which are available that you really can use your potential, which truly is limitless. The last part is after repetitive learning is assessing your skills. This comes by practicing the previous year's questions.